2021 is clearly determined to deliver us better and better songs as the months go on. From a completely forgettable January, to still boring, but better February, to now March with many extremely good releases that will stick with me for way longer than just 2 days. Don't forget that timestamps are in the description, so you can jump to releases you are interested to hear my opinion on, and without further ado, let's see what March had to offer. Hush. Kim Sung-kyu of Infinite. I won't sit here and lie. This is my first time listening to his music and I couldn't be more angry for missing on such greatness. His vocal color is extremely unique, more on a lower spectrum, but he nails all high notes perfectly too. Without understanding the lyrics at all, he was able to make me understand and feel everything he was feeling. Through emotions in his voice, the first verse, which set up the scene, and the echo in the production, sounding like a distant longing. He was able to tell me the story, and at the end I fully comprehended why this girl is so important to him, why he wants her by his side so badly. It's what many pop songs nowadays lack. They lack the storytelling, but this were everything I could ever want and ask for. Here are my scores in the final grade of 9. Get Away. VeriVery. This song is fine, just like every other boy group song with the dark concept is. Nothing more than fine. I know nothing about the group, but if I'm informed right, they used to do brighter concepts, which were much better than their darker ones. If that's true, it's a shame, because I can tell they are talented and their vocals are amazing. The Ryagi sound in the back of the production is fresh, but it's covered with too many generic arrangements to stand out. I hate how boy groups think they can only be taken seriously if they do darker, more mature concepts, because that couldn't be further from the truth. Here are my scores in the final grade of 6.25.
Born to be gambler, 배운 적 없지, even no tutor, 최악의 패를 가진 거 싹 쓸어.
Coin. IYah. I know you guys requested for me to review Lilac, since it was released, which I will later on in the video, but let's first tackle Coin, because I have much less to say. Not because I hate it, but because I think it's so much better than Lilac, that it speaks for itself. This type of coffee shop pop music is what IYah usually goes, and is known for. It's also the type of style I think she suits best. I'm glad to see her experiment more, but this is still what hits the mark for me. She went for a more mature concept with it as well, which only makes it more appealing to me. Somehow it gives me many retro vibes, yet I still love it like it has none. Here are my scores to showcase that as well, and the final grade of 8.25. Blood Night. G-Reyish. I highly thought this was a debut, and then I found out they've been around for 4 years. I've never heard of them, like literally not once. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I can see why they aren't appealing to most people. They are from a very small company with clearly very limited budget, because not only did the music video look like a bunch of high schoolers put it together, but the production of the actual song, especially in the chorus, it's so bad that the one who was supposed to be the backup vocal during harmonies basically overshadows the one who was supposed to be the main vocal. It's just poorly done, and I can't help myself. It annoys the shit out of me. I can tell the girls are talented, they just don't have the necessary conditions to show that fully, which is always a shame. Hopefully in the future this changes, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. Here are my scores in the final grade of 4.75. Seoul. Ghost 9. I know absolutely nothing about this group, but I've really liked that throughout this music video they paid tribute to Seoul, and went to some of my personal favorite places in that city. I recognized many sets from BTS previous performances or music videos even. It was just extremely enjoyable and suitable for the situation we are currently in. As for the song, it was okay, but it suffers even bigger identity crisis than me in high school. It just can't commit to one sound and instead jumps from one vibe to another like it's nothing. During some verses it's very hard hitting hip hop, then for half of the chorus it's straight up EDM, and for the rest of the chorus synthwave. It's too messy and disorganized for me to be completely in love, but still organized enough to not turn me away completely. It's forgettable I think, and won't age as well for me. Here are my scores as well, and the final grade of 7.
Why don't we?
Why don't we? Rain featuring Chungha. I literally know nothing about Rain and I only checked this release out because of Chungha, but it was clear to me fast that they focused on the choreography aspect of it way more than the actual song. The production offers nothing interesting, it's very generic, and one-leveled instead throughout the whole song. I see it tried to deliver the same vibe as One Hose Loose for example, but ended up failing miserably. The song doesn't commit to anything, and instead goes from one thing to another until it eventually just ends. Without any purpose or story for why it is the way it is. Here are my scores and final grade of only 5. IYah. Kang Seung Yoon of winner. I can't believe this man finally got his solo debut. It almost seems like a joke when I say it out loud, because I seriously never thought this day would ever come. I'm a huge fan of Winner, if you guys didn't know that yet, so I was right on it when this was released. Despite my love for all of the members, including Seung and Yoon, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. This was okay, it told me a story, the music video had no right to be this emotional, and overall it was a good debut song. But did it wow me? No, not at all. It wasn't anything I haven't heard before in ballads, but his vocal abilities were showcased beautifully. Gotta give the song that. Here are my scores and the final grade of 7.
I
like you. Ciipher. Speaking of Rain, by the way, this is his first idol group under his very own company, so I'm sure many of us were excited to hear what he brings to the table of rookie groups, especially knowing his rich history as a mentor. Unfortunately, this song sounds like a first draft of someone who became a producer 3 days ago. The overall vibe is fun and bright, which I enjoy, as well as both rap parts are extremely catchy. But the autotune and other vocal effects on their voices are just too much and make the song look cheap, as well as unprofessional. Rappers were the only ones that didn't have any or very little autotune, which was fine, but vocalists' voices suffered a lot. I understand it was most likely a stylistic choice, and not to hide their bad vocals, but it wasn't good. Like at all. Here are my scores and the final grade of 5.75, which clearly reflect my dislike for this song. Spit it out. Majors. They are partly a rebrand of the not long ago disbanded group Ants, whose debut I really enjoyed, by the way. I have no idea why the company disbanded that group and soon after decided to debut another, but that's beyond me at this point. The song is fine at best. It's nothing we've never heard before. Actually, it follows typical girl crush formula and therefore tends to bore you halfway through. Also, them screaming "spit it out" during the chorus, instead of just singing it like every other group, makes me fall on the floor in laughter. It's unintentionally funny as hell, and reminds me someone telling their pet to drop something they are holding in their mouth. I don't know, man, it's just a whole ass meme, and makes me not take this song seriously. I'm happy for the girls and they are talented without a doubt, but this wasn't anything special for me, and for many other from what I've seen online. Here are my scores and the final grade of 5.25. Not over. MCND, if I'm not mistaken, this is a song from their latest album they released back in January, where they performed Crush. Those of you who watched my January review video know that I absolutely loved Crush, because it was just weird and out there. I'll listen to their mini album too, but honestly none of the songs stuck in my mind. At all. If I didn't see it on Instagram, I wouldn't know Not Over is from that album even. As for the actual song, it's even better than Crush, and I didn't believe that could be possible so soon. It just slaps. I don't know how it slipped past me back in January, but hey, better late than never. Rap in this is immaculate, and one of reasons why I love this group's discography so much. It's a typical boy group hype SNG, but I enjoy it, and we all need something simple every now and then. If it sounds good, why not? Here are my scores too, and the final grade of 7.5. Do or not. Pentagon. Such a unique sound for a pop group these days. Especially for a boy group. Instead of an angry dark concept, they chose to throw it all the way back to 50s and 60s, which I honestly rarely listen to, but I love everything about this song. Despite having influences of music from so many years ago, added pop and slight hint of rock give it freshness, so it does not come off as outdated. The music video was just an added joy in itself, and I'm glad more groups are comfortable with including actors of opposite gender in their videos as love interests. Despite some toxic fans having problems with it. I hope more groups follow this sound and it maybe becomes a new trend. We will see. Here are my scores as well, and the final grade of 8.75. All in. DKB oof, this is giving me mad Big Bang vibes. Like IYah or something like that. They clearly tried to mix up the dance, hip-hop influenced sound with an emotional ballad, which can many times be done horribly wrong. But surprisingly, All In holds up extremely well. From time to time it gets confusing, simply because each verse holds such a different vibe. From raw, gorgeous vocals, to badass, aggressive rap. You have everything in one song, but what does it the best for me is the chorus. I guess it's their brand at this point, to have intense chorus to very smooth and calm melodies. It's kinda funny, but at the same time I'm here for it. They are growing closer to my heart with each release and I might decide to stand soon. We will see. Here are my scores and the final grade of 8.25.
Everything I need is
On the ground. Rosé of Blackpink. I made a whole separate video on reviewing this entire debut, from the song to the music video and lyrics, so make sure to check it out. To keep it short here, I still stand by everything I said in that video. This song isn't perfect, and it has some flaws that can be worked on in the future. But since that review it has grown on me a lot, and I can now confidently say that I love it almost entirely. Just the chorus still feels empty. For my scores and the final grade watch my other video. Why? Ikon. I'm so excited to see them on Kingdom, which will hopefully bring back some of the attention they had during Love Scenario. It's hard to believe they debuted almost 6 years ago, because they've just kinda been in the shadow of other IG groups for over half of those years. I honestly didn't expect to hear another song from them before Kingdom, but they decided to release a digital single and break my heart. I have to give props to IG for having absolute best ballads, and probably the only ballads I sincerely enjoy, and can listen to more than 2 times. They are packed with emotions, yet sound fresh and interesting. Ikon's new single is no different. I can listen to it well and only tear up if I leave lyrics alone. As soon as I read them, we are gone. I'm in shambles. You can see how much it means to them, and how emotional they get during performing it. Everything about it is perfect in my eyes, but Bobby's rap is a bit forced in there, just because he isn't that good of a singer. Others showed insane vocal performance, and I'm super happy with it. One of their best, if not the best release to date. Fight me. Also here are my scores and the final grade of 7.75. Bad habits. Cravity. The way I was scared this will be another annoying song like their last one, called My Turn Was I Mean. A lot of you guys apparently liked it, but to me, it's still one of the worst releases of 2021 so far, which tells a lot. But anyways, Bad Habits is definitely better, but not by a lot, if you ask me. As much as my turn suffered from messiness and weird sounds that nobody asked for, Bad Habits suffers from being painfully generic. Tell me one boy group that didn't do this concept and sound before. Exactly. Everyone did. It doesn't stand out in any possible way. I don't really like the production, because it's EDM style, but in a messy way. Thankfully this vibe is present all throughout, so it's not jumping around too much, but still not likable for my personal taste. Here are my scores for you, and the final grade of 5.
No fear, taking control. I'm good with wherever we're going.
Run. Sorn. This was so unexpected, and when I saw her announce it on her Instagram, I was extremely happy and excited for her. CLC has been in a bit of a dungeon at the moment because of the whole Elky situation, so God knows when they will be back. I can recognize Sorn's debut song isn't anything groundbreaking, and I've heard many similar pop mixed with country sounds before. Every now and then though I just love listening to something simple. Something that doesn't require a specific mood to be good enough. It's not only the song that charms its way to my heart, it's also Sorn's sweet voice and personality showcased in the music video. I absolutely loved it, although it was clearly filmed by her with zero budget. Everything about this is just effective in the simplest way, and I hope we get to hear more from her in the future. Here are my scores as well, and the final grade of 6.75.
Baby, purple kiss and black detail.
Ponzona. Purple Kiss. Finally these girls debuted, and I know many of us have been really excited. Both of their pre-debut tracks haven't exactly been my sound, and left me mostly confused, because they were polar opposites. I have to say Ponzona is definitely my favorite of the three, and I like the stage presence and appeal of these girls so much. The concept is dark, but very intense, while the song reminds me a lot of G-Idol's earlier tracks. There was one member in particular that really caught my attention, but I won't tell you which one just yet. We need to see more from them first. But anyways, I think the song is nice, and has a certain appeal, although it's absolutely nothing new. Also it could benefit a lot from a bit of rock added into the production, to match the intensity of the girls, as well as the concept they went for. But anyways, here are my scores in the final grade of exactly 8.
We gotta kick back. We gotta kick back.
Kickback. WayV NCT's Chinese subunit is back, and although they are the subunit with my least favorite songs, I always check their releases out, and give them one chance after another. Let's be honest, I'm mainly here for Lucas, I'm not even going to lie. He is my NCT bias wrecker, so of course I will support him as much as I can. I don't regret at all checking this one out though. The production has that magical, yet powerful vibe, which I absolutely love. Especially the pre-chorus is gorgeous, and probably my favorite part of the song. The chorus, right after is therefore pretty underwhelming. I would wish for something other than chanting, maybe a bit more vocally rich, but well, we got what we got. The vocal and rap execution overall is perfect, and they never fail to impress me. I think this is my favorite song by them, is it? I don't know yet, we will see how this one ages. But here are my scores and final grade of 8.5. After School. Weeekly. Their previous two title tracks weren't my thing, which you know, if you watched my video on pop songs that disappointed me. By the way, part 2 of that video is in the making, so I hope you're excited. Anyways, this song is straight up pop song with slight influences of raggy and it works. It's such a fun, feel-good song, which makes me feel this type of nostalgia. I absolutely hated every second I spent in high school, but this song somehow makes me miss it. I don't know how that's possible, but that only speaks on how powerful and good it is. I don't have much else to say about it really. Oh, I enjoyed the rap part and chorus the most. I almost forgot to tell you that, although nobody asked. Here are my scores in the final grade of insanely high and well-deserved 9.25.
내가 어떤 년인 것 같아.
What type of ex Jessi? Rock and hip hop combined almost never fail to make some of the best tracks out there, and this one is no exception. Jessi brings everything to the next level with her confidence, sexiness, and attitude. She is absolutely the right person to make this kind of track work. She doesn't get swallowed by it, but instead owns it completely and makes it her own. I'm not sold on the electro guitar drop 100% yet, but I'm sure I will be. It's simply such a good track and a very good follow-up to Na Nu Na Na, which basically threw Jessi's fame to the sky. Rightfully so, she is one of my favorite artists in pop industry. I also really enjoyed to what high extent this song involved her singing, and not only rapping, since she tends to shine in both. So excited to watch her on music shows, because she is about to bring the fire on. Here are my scores too, and the final grade of another whopping 9.25. Bambi. Baekhyun. I will never understand on what grounds people praise him as someone with the greatest discography. Everything I've heard from him this far was pretty bland to me and nothing I haven't heard like million times before. Same goes for Bambi. I feel like I could predict how the entire song will go after only first few notes. Yes, his voice suits this type of style extremely well, I can't deny that. But there is so much more needed to make a good song and this just wasn't it. At this point I think I'm going to stop checking him out, because his music clearly isn't for me. So yeah, this is probably the very last time I'm reviewing his solo work. Here are my scores in the final grade of only 4.75, which is tragic.
I don't like control, I'm unnatural, not really,
Unnatural. Cosmic Girls. I know basically nothing about this group, but I've heard that this is a pretty big concept, as well as sound change for them. I have no idea what they were releasing before, but I definitely know I'm in love with what they are releasing now. This is a disco pop masterpiece, one of my favorite genres. They deliver it with so much attitude, without sounding overly aggressive. The rap part felt a bit forced during first listen, but now it is one of my favorite in the song. Also, this might have to be one of my favorite music videos in 2021 so far, or even of all time. It's simple, but so visually pleasing. My eyes were content with every second of it. Overall, just such a refreshing sound to hear Emin's in your face girl crush, empty EDM drops and retro inspired songs. I will make sure to keep my ears peeled for this group from now, cause I think I'm onto something great. Here are my scores as well, and the final grade of 9. Fireworks, I'm the one. Ateez. What an improvement from the absolutely boring track that was Inception. From the concept photos I was afraid they will go for something similar again, but instead they went back to the obnoxious EDM type of sound, which I cannot lie, suits them the best. They are without a doubt a group with one of the strongest, if not the strongest stage presence in the industry, so giving them upbeat songs only makes sense to showcase that. It's completely up my alley and I might be bold enough to say that this is their best title track. Does it win over Treasure? I'm not sure, but we will see as time goes on. What I absolutely dislike though is the effects they used on mainly the verses. It's particularly bad during Seon's and then IYah Sang's verse at the start, as well as Han Jung's rap later on. It's taken to the extreme and beyond what could be a reasonable stylistic choice. That's why the chorus is my favorite part by far anyways. Here are my scores and the final grade came up to 8.5, which is very high for my picky self. Lilac. IYah. This was pretty highly requested by many of you, so I absolutely had to include it in my end of the month review. She tackled Ateez genre city pop, which doesn't surprise me, consider retro concept are still very much a trending pop, dragging from last year into 2021, not seeming to end anytime soon. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a bad song at all, and I like the verses a lot actually, but the chorus doesn't deliver in a way I would love it to. It's too smooth and elegant, which doesn't quite work, since the entire song is already this way. It desperately needs something stronger, which I've been waiting for the entire length of the song. It just never came. In her rich and amazing discography, this might be my least favorite title track, at least in the last couple of years. Here are my scores in the final grade of 6.75.
All because of you. Another story that's sad and true. I can feel the pain, can you?
Gone. Rosé of Blackpink. The only other B-side we got on her debut single album and I couldn't have been happier with it. As I've already said in my separate review video for On The Ground, I understand why Gone stayed as only a B-side. For me personally though, it's way better, and I'm team Gone till the day I die. It's such a simple ballad, yet Rose's emotional vocal performances delivers lines extremely well, keeping the listener interested in what's coming next. Sure, it has some weaknesses and poor rhymes in the lyrics, but overall it has touched my heart deeply, and that's exactly what's making it my favorite release of this month. Here are my scores in the final grade of 9.5. I've been struggling a lot this month. Failed exams built up my anxiety to the extremes I haven't experienced in a damn while. They put me into a dark place I've always been afraid to fall back into. But it was the music that helped get back up and keep going. That let me know everything will be okay. No problem is too big to solve, and there is always another way. What's meant to happen for you will happen. It just takes patience and strength. It's why I love music so much, and why I will keep making these videos, so I can talk about it with all of you as well. Until Wednesday, when I will see you again. Bye, love you.